Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube! My name is SeaRaptor, and it's time for more Scuttlebutt. This week's game in the background is Tier 5 Premium American Destroyer USS Hill. I have not seen a lot on YouTube or in the chatter about this ship, and I've had some really fun games, so I wanted to feature it this week to give you guys a sense of it. It is, at its core, a slightly different Nicholas, which is the Tier 5 tech ship. She trades one of Nicholas's torpedo launchers for one more main battery gun. It's the same guns as Nicholas, so literally in the same torpedo launchers. So you're literally just taking one of those launchers off and slapping another gun on. She's way more detectable than Nicholas. This thing has a 6.4 detection radius, which at Tier 5 is very, very high, but is not outrageous. And again, it's the same torps as Nicholas, she just has fewer of them. They're already kind of tough to use, 5.5 kilometer range. You're detectable at 6.4, so it's not really any shock that these might be in the water. But I'd rather have the guns. I just don't feel like I'm missing much giving up one of these torpedo launchers. And they still reload fairly quickly. That one along the center line can flex in both directions, whereas Nicholas is confined to having two on each side anyway. Hill gets that little flex launcher in the center, so you can still put 6 in the water on each side. You just can't flip around and throw 6 more. If you flip around, you're only going to get 3 more. Hill's long-range AA is better. But her short-range AA is notably worse, and she cannot equip defensive fire, which is unusual for a Tier 5, for an American destroyer in general. In Tier 5-6 games, she'll be pretty solid. In Tier 7 games, she's going to struggle a little bit, but she's a lot of fun to play, so enjoy the game. What's going on in shooty boats? Well, round 2 of public testing for 8.5 is underway this weekend. We talked about all the stuff in this patch last week. I'm not going to get into details. I'll link the patch notes down below. You can go have a look. The big thing that is worth talking about that wasn't mentioned is that right now on PTS, AA damage is applied differently to the way it is on live. When an enemy squadron is in an AA aura, the ticks are applied evenly. The damage is spread out across all the planes in the squadron. Right now, on public test server, that's not how it works. The damage is all being applied to essentially the last plane in the squadron until it's dead, and then it starts applying the damage to the next one, and so on and so forth. So AA feels better, but I think there's still some more work to be done before something like this comes to the game, because you run the real risk of deplaning a carrier. He takes such extreme losses, you probably have to now seriously take a look at how fast his planes regenerate and so on and so forth. But I feel hopefully it'll make players feel like their AA is doing something and deter, the multiple attacks. Okay, yeah, your guy brings in a squadron, he gets off 2 attacks, but the third one is already dead. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mentioned this last week. I'm going to briefly pimp it one more time. North American community contributor applications are open once again. I'll put the link down below. If this interests you, if you want to become a CC, if you're a streamer or a YouTuber or whatever, go check this out and apply. I'm not sure how long they're going to be open, but I know that if they like you, they'll take you. I do also want to highlight something that has been going on for a while that I've been not remiss pointing out. Femininely has been running a forum contest every week on the NA forums. I'm going to put up the link down below for this week's. This week's is just go get a win in any Russian ship of your choice. Post that screenshot in the thread, and you can win you'll get some free camos, and then you'll get a chance. She'll pick some winners later on to win a premium Russian ship, which might have some kind of fun. So hey, free stuff just for playing the game. Can't be that hard. Quick update on the CC Summit. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. It's been kind of slowly coming together. Well, it's a done deal. I got my visa back. Plane tickets are booked. I am going. I will be leaving for St. Petersburg on Monday, the 24th of June, arriving on the 25th. The summit will take place over that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we'll be coming back on the weekend. I have been investing the time to get all my stuff together to do a video log of the trip as I go. My plan is that I'll be able to post one of these literally at the end of the day and share the trip with you guys day by day. We'll see how it goes, but I've been having fun learning to use all the various equipment that I picked up, the mics and the gimbals and travel tripods and all this sort of thing. What I want you guys to do for me, to help me out, to make this trip as maximally awesome as it can possibly be, for this week and next week, Scuttlebutt. Reply below with questions you would like asked to the developers or topics you want to hear discussed with the dev teams. Now, these guys are going to have an agenda, right? They're going to have a list of things they're going to want to go over with us. We haven't seen it. I don't know. I can make no promises, all right? There's going to be a whole bunch of us, and it's not like I'm going to be able to sit down with Sub and have a private interview or whatever. But I suspect the opportunity for some general Q&A is going to come up at some point, and I want you guys to tell me what it is that's concerning you the most. I mean, we're going to have extensive talks about carriers, I'm sure. Is there something else, right? look beyond carriers. Is there something else in the game? And I'm not talking about, oh, I want to see this ship added or whatever. Like game mechanics, game functionality. Like what is it you want to see them dive into or want to learn more about? Like just whatever. Share your thoughts with me. We'll have a conversation in the comments, and let's figure this out. I'm going to put together my own list. I'll share that with you guys next week, and together we'll build us a list of things that maybe we can talk to them about. Quick note on streams for this month. Because of the trip, I will not be having my regular stream on Tuesday 25th. I'll be in the wrong time zone on the other side of the world. Nor will am I going to be able to fit a Fletcher Friday into this month. Just the timing doesn't allow for it. So instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a one-off Saturday stream on the 22nd of June, probably in the afternoon or evening. Check out my event schedule on Twitch. I'll put that link down below so you can go, remind yourself or something. So come hang out with me. Maybe we'll do some divs together. I'll probably smash Fletcher Friday together with a regular stream, and I don't know, maybe we'll go a little longer. We'll figure it out. We'll chat about test boats or the trip or whatever folks want to talk about, and we'll do that instead of the following Tuesday and a Fletcher Friday. The big news of the week, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about this, guys, because this is big news. There were 2 dev blog posts that went up today. One concerning changes to Graf Zeppelin, and another with a myriad of changes noted to the various test ships. I want to talk about Graf Zeppelin first, partly because she got her own post, and partly because this ship has a very long and troubled history in World of Warships. But with that said, like post-rework, it's felt like she's been in a decent spot. She was pretty heavily nerfed in the early going, right? The speed of her torpedo bombers really allowed players to just spam them endlessly because they moved through AAORs so quickly they didn't really take damage. They'd zoom in, dump torpedoes, rack up damage, zoom out, and they just continually spam these things and not really take significant losses. So they kept nerfing the torpedo damage, right? They nerfed the torpedo damage, they nerfed the flood damage, and apparently, now that the engine boost nerfs have come to live, Wargaming has decided that she needs some of that torpedo damage back. So they're buffing the alpha damage on her torpedoes from 4,500 to 5,300, essentially an increase of about 800 points per torpedo, as well as bumping her flood chances back up just a little bit, a few percentage points. Now, taken on the face of it, this isn't earth-shattering. But I feel like it's indicative of a larger problem that we're seeing with Wargaming right now when it comes to balancing carriers. To me, they're buffing exactly the wrong thing about this ship. Zeppelin doesn't need her torpedoes buffed. She needs a reason, any reason, to use her dive bombers, her armor-piercing dive bombs, which in their current incarnation are very nearly garbage. Only 2 bombs in each drop. She puts up 4 planes. Attack wave is 2. Each plane mounts 1 bomb. So she drops 2 bombs. Compare that to Shikaku's 3, which is pretty reasonable, or Enterprise's 6. So you're only getting 2 bombs per drop. So that means the time you're investing in for making the run, you're not getting rewarded with damage. The reticle is circular, yes, but it's huge. It's perfectly round. It doesn't matter what angle I direct for. I can attack from. But I still miss half the time because the reticle is literally wider than the narrow reticle on Enterprise's AP bombs. And in that reticle, this massive, she drops 2 bombs. 2. But rather than fix this very obviously lackluster dive bomber, we're buffing her torpedoes. This does not make sense. Now, this same post does say they're improving Zeppelin's AP bomb normalization. I mean, yay? To me, normalization is not her problem. The problem is she has a huge drop reticle with only 2 bombs in it. And the fact that she's got to make 4 drops to be as effective as a handful, she's got to, let's see, 3 drops. She's got to make 3 drops for Enterprise's 2, and Enterprise still puts out way more bombs. Way more bombs. If Enterprise's 2 drops, she puts 12 bombs down. If Zeppelin wastes the time to make all 4, she drops 8. And I guarantee you those planes will not survive to drop 4 bombs against anything but like a tier 6 battleship. Now let's talk about AP bombs for a minute. As much hoopla has been made about rocket planes versus destroyers, AP bombs versus cruisers in certain battleships has not gotten as much chatter as I think it should. Originally, AP bombs were one of Zeppelin's unique characteristics. She was the second carrier in the game to come with AP bombs after they released Enterprise, and hers were much, much easier to use, able to citadel a much larger array of targets rather than simply overpin them, which is what Enterprise's bombers usually did. The AP bombs are the reason that Hakuryu is running away as the best CV to be playing in this train wreck of a ranked season win right now. Hakuryu's AP bombs are amazing. Zeppelin's AP bombs are trash. but we're buffing Zeppelin's torpedoes? The point I'm making is this. From the chair I'm sitting in right here, there's a huge disconnect in what needs to be adjusted on certain aircraft carriers. We need to be encouraging people to use other forms of armament aboard Zeppelin. Her AP bombs, for example, at all. We need to tone down the effectiveness of Hakuryu's AP bombs, in my opinion, right? AP bombs in general need to be looked at as a whole. I think there's some tweaks that need to be made here. Now, with that said, ships that have them need a compelling reason to use them. Right now, Zeppelin lacks that, and we're buffing her torpedoes. But that's not the worst of it. No, dear friends, it gets better. The second post details a myriad of changes coming to ships in production testing right now. So let's start with the elephant in the room that nobody seems to want to talk about, Slava. This ship should simply not exist. Under no circumstances should we even be entertaining the idea of introducing a battleship designed for backline sniping into the game. The fact that we're still continuing to test this ship is mind-boggling to me. I have yet to see anybody on any server in the game say they think this is a good idea. The Russia server prefers brawling anyway. The NA and EU servers already complain about backline battleships. They're a meme. The Asia CCs I've interacted with think this is a bad idea, and yet Wargaming continues to press forward with the concept. I simply don't understand the endgame. What's the goal here? Why would we ever in a million years want to encourage this type of gameplay? I haven't even touched on the fact that the ship is a complete anathema to the entire Russian battleship line, which is, in my opinion, rightfully rewarded for moving up into mid-range. Players love that about this line. So what then is the goal of Slava? We have no idea. But here comes another round of tweaks to try and make her work. Moving along, we have a nerf to Smolensk's range. I kind of understand the logic here, right? Smolensk probably does need something tweaked to rein her in a bit. But all we're doing is making it mandatory that her captain take advanced firing training for 4 points. I rejigger my captain build, et voila, I'm back at 15.6 kilometer range. And before you try and tell me that 15.6 kilometer range is too little at tier 10, go back and watch some of my Smolensk videos here on the channel where I'm melting people, and remind yourself that I don't even have AFT in that captain build. You want to bring Smolensk in the line, you take away her smoke. Period. The heal she needs, you got to keep that. But yank the smoke, she'll still be a really, really solid light cruiser. Next we have buffs to Colbert? You have to be kidding me. Now I don't like this ship. That's a personal choice. But the entire point of balancing the ship is that she's a glass cannon. You don't buff the survivability of a ship designed to be a glass cannon. Come on. Players already hate getting spammed to death by this thing, and now we're going to make it harder for them to kill her when they finally do manage to get some damage in? What? Next you have Yudachi. Poor Yudachi. We're nerfing her torpedo and alpha flood chance? The hell? There's already no compelling reason to play this ship. Every single other tier 7 destroyer in the game is already better. Well, maybe not, but certainly both of the tech tree Japanese destroyers are already better. And we're nerfing her? Why? Her torpedoes already give the enemy 30% more reaction time than the next worst tier 7 destroyer torpedoes. And we're going to make them worse? Okay. Moving along, now we're slightly buffing the air brakes when planes press and hold the S key, making it easier for them to get around and back on target quickly. This is more than a little concerning, as one of the only defenses a destroyer has against a determined carrier is to keep his AA off as long as possible and rely on the fact that the rocket planes or HE bombers take time to get flipped around to change his position and orientation to the CV's line of attack. Making it easier for the carrier to get back on target is probably not what we want to be doing. And last, we have a number of nerfs to the French destroyers. A lot of them for Sirocco, and yet another one for Mogador. I haven't played enough Sirocco to say whether this is warranted or not. My one game in this ship was pretty unspectacular. Mogador, at least, continues to get worse when you compare her to tier 10 French destroyer Kleber. And both ships are going to suffer mightily when in a game with an aircraft carrier. That alone effectively makes the entire French destroyer line dead on arrival on the Asia server. And they're probably not going to be very popular on NA and EU. I just don't see it. There's still a lot of carriers out there, which was the goal of the rework, so mission accomplished. But then if you're going to put ships in the game, they have to be able to defend themselves. Give them something. Overall, guys, I'm really disheartened by this. There's not a single thing in them that's good. I mean, some are good for the ships we're talking about, but for the overall health and fun of the game, I'm not seeing it. I really, really hope we can have a dialogue with these guys in St. Petersburg, because this genuinely concerns me. If this is the direction that we're going to be taking some of these ships in the game as a whole, this is pretty concerning. Anyways, guys, sorry to end it on a downer note, but the good news is we're going to have a chance to talk to these guys, and hopefully hopefully make some of this right. None of these ships are in the game yet, so there's still a chance for us to make some tweaks. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the game in Hill. It turned out to be a pretty good one here. Be safe out there, and I'll see you next week.